Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited to share with you guys my Ride or Die makeup products. I am doing the Ride or Die tag, which was created by Jaclyn Hill in 2016. It's basically just where you go through every single category of makeup and you name your favorite product in each category. So I think it's a really fun way to get to see just people's makeup tastes, what they really enjoy, and if you have to pare down your collection to just your favorites, what they would pick first. So I think it's a really great way to get to know your favorite influencers and your favorite beauty gurus and get to know what they really enjoy. So I wanted to do an updated version. I did do the Ride or Die tag like last year when my channel was relatively new, so I had a lot of favorites back then that are not my current favorites. Not to say that I don't love those products anymore, because I still do. I've just tried out so many new products since then. My skill level has definitely evolved from what I used to do back then, and I just think that I have so many new products that I love more than the ones I mentioned. So I wanted to create a more accurate representation of what I really do love and enjoy, so I thought I would do an updated version. And I just like talking about my favorites to you guys, so I wanted to do an updated version. I also have to mention today's makeup look. If you want the full details of what I'm wearing on my face, I will link the Instagram post down below, or I will link the products down below as well, just so you can see what I'm wearing. But I love this makeup look. It's been a while since I've done a really artistry-based look. I love doing really artsy, just elaborate makeup looks sometimes, and it's been like about 3 weeks or so since I've done one, so I wanted to just sit down and do something that really I was inspired to do. This look was kind of inspired by a creator I see on Instagram a lot. Her name is Sandy Hirales, and I think she does amazing work. She did a really nice cherry blossom inspired look, and I'm Japanese, so sakuras have been a really big part of my upbringing, and I just really wanted to create something on my face that represented that. So these eyes are covered in cherry blossoms, and I'm really enjoying this look, so I thought it would be a really great look to sit down and film my favorites video with you guys. So let's get right into my Ride or Die makeup tag. I hope you guys enjoyed, and let's start right now. Okay, I'm just going to start off with what pretty much everyone starts their face off with. I'm going to start with primer. So my favorite primer in the whole wide world is the BECCA First Light Priming Filter. So this is purple in the bottle, but it doesn't actually apply purple on the face. This is a beautiful, like, luminous primer. So I just smooth this on. It has a really nice light citrus scent. It just smooths over my skin, makes everything nice and luminous, but preps the skin for foundation. Kind of blurs the imperfections on the face with the light reflecting particles and just makes everything look brighter, more smooth. It just looks stunning on the skin. So I use this with matte and dewy foundations alike. It just worked with pretty much every formula I have, and I do notice that my foundation lasts longer with this one. So this is pretty much everything I could ask for. BECCA is pretty expensive, and so I think this primer is in like the $40 range, but it's definitely worth it in my opinion. I think it's a beautiful primer. It just works so well on my skin, and I think this would work for a great variety of skin types as well. So I really enjoy this one, not just because of the purple color, but because of the entire quality of the product. So the next category is foundation, and I tried to be very good in this video and only select one product per category just because it is the Ride or Die tag. But foundation, I feel like it's a category that you can't really just choose one. Depending on what kind of look I want, I do have different foundations in my collection that I reach for different things. So I don't just use one foundation every single day. I have so many favorites. I have light coverage, I have medium foundation, I have like full coverage foundations, long wearing, you name it. I probably have a different foundation that I prefer for each category. So I wanted to narrow it down to just two favorite foundations that I really enjoy. So the first one is the one that I mentioned in my last Ride or Die video, which was the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. This one is still a favorite. It's not the best for long wearing, so if you're gonna be wearing it for like a full work day, I'd say you either want to set it really intensely with powder or just skip it, because it's not the most long wearing foundation, but it does wear really nicely on the face. So I find that when my oils do come through around like the 6-hour wear mark, it doesn't like look greasy on my skin. It just looks nice and healthy. This one is really true to the name. It's called the Vanish Stick Foundation, and it really does vanish into your skin. So you're getting a lot of coverage, but it doesn't look cakey on the skin or just look like makeup. It just looks like beautiful skin. So I really enjoy this one. I am wearing it today. This one is the shade Bisque, and it's more of my natural shade match, so I prefer this one. But I really do enjoy this foundation. It can be sheared out for like light coverage or built up to full coverage, whatever you want. It never looks cakey or makeup-y. It is pricey. It's $48 for this one stick, but in my opinion, it's worth it. And then my other favorite foundation, if you watched my trying out 7 different full coverage foundations for a week video, you would know that this is my new favorite like full coverage foundation. It is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. I have the shade Shortbread 200B. It is pretty much a perfect shade match for me. I really enjoy this one. It is definitely my favorite full coverage foundation, and it's so long wearing. I wore this for like a full 13 hours on the day that I wear tested this, and it just looks so stunning at the end of the day. I could have kept wearing it for like 4 more hours at least and it would have still looked fine. So this is very long wearing. It is my favorite like heavy duty foundation, and it's definitely not going to be for like natural makeup days. This is good for like a full beat if you're doing a very elaborate makeup look. This just really fits with that, and I love this foundation. So this one is $40. Both the Hourglass and the Huda one both have a really great shade range. So no matter what your shade is, you're probably going to be able to find a great shade match for you, and I really do enjoy this one. So this one and the Hourglass are my two favorites. I know I was only supposed to pick one, but I couldn't just pick one foundation. I think it's a very important category that you can't really pass up. So next up is concealer, and my new favorite concealer is actually the KYLIE Cosmetics Skin Concealer. I used to really like the Tarte Shape Tape. I believe that is what I mentioned in the last video, and I still do like that concealer. I just have been using it a lot less lately because of the controversy that occurred with its Shape Tape foundation, and I've just been trying out so many new concealers that I've really been enjoying a lot more than the Shape Tape. So this one is my new favorite concealer in my entire collection. KYLIE came out with, I believe, 30 shades, so that's a really great shade range. And the quality of these concealers is amazing. I was honestly not expecting such an amazing quality concealer because KYLIE is kind of treading into new waters with her products. This is very full coverage. It just cancels out my dark circles, which I have a lot of, and it doesn't crease on me. It just stays on so well throughout the day. It's also great for spot concealing on the face. It just blends seamlessly into your foundation, and I think this is beautiful. So I really enjoyed this concealer. It is $20, so a little bit cheaper than the Tarte Shape Tape, although you are getting a little bit less product, but I really enjoy this one, and I think it's definitely worth the price. So next up, I'm going to talk about my favorite contours. So I'm actually really into cream contouring. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea. A lot of people I watch on YouTube really enjoy powder contouring, but personally, cream contouring just looks a lot more natural on my skin. I find that it's easier to blend, and I just like working with it a lot more. So my favorite contour in my entire collection is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Cream Kit. I have the shade Fair. They have, I believe, like 5 different versions of this palette, so you'll probably be able to find a great fit for you and your complexion. I don't normally use every single shade in the powder contour kits, so this one I actually do use every single color, so it's a really great deal for me because I don't want to be spending like $40 on a contour kit where I'm only going to use like one of the pans. You get 3 contour shades here on the bottom. Shadow and Mink are really great for my cheekbone contouring. Apply these right under my cheekbone and then go in with a brush and blend it out. The shade Fawn up here is really good for nose contouring. It's a really beautiful cool tone brown, and that's one of the problems I find with a lot of cream contouring kits. Some brands just do not know how to make a proper contour shade because contours need to be nice and cool toned so you can get that definition on your face. You don't naturally have like a warm brown shadow on your face. All your shadows are nice and cool toned, so cool toned contours are really the best for creating that natural cheekbone illusion, and then you can go over them with like a bronzer to warm everything up. You get 2 concealer shades, Fair over here and then Soft Light. These I use interchangeably. I either use them on the side of my nose to kind of clean up the nose contour, or underneath my cheekbones just to carve everything out and brighten up everything. Highlighter shade is called Luster. I use it just on the tip of my nose. It's so good for getting a nice kind of dewy, luminous look, but not like super pigmented and like highlighty and glowy. It kind of looks weird, so this is a really nice kind of luminous natural highlighter. No pigment, just shimmer. So I really like this contour kit. I think it's a great value because I do use every single shade in here, and with a powder contour kit I wouldn't necessarily be getting that, so I really enjoyed this one. It's definitely my ride or die. I think in the old ride or die video I actually didn't even mention a bronzer because I was not into bronzers back then, and now I've kind of just gotten so much into face products, bronzers, blushes. I was always into highlights, but I never really dipped my toes into the bronzers or the blushes just because I thought they didn't look good on me. I think now I've just found out how to apply them better so I don't actually look muddy and weird when I apply them. So my favorite bronzer is actually the Hourglass formula. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit palette, so I think this is the first one. And this has basically this actually has 3 of the ambient lighting powders, 2 blushes, and then a bronzer. The bronzer in here is called Luminous Bronze Light. I believe you can get this in a single, so I will link that down below. I love this bronzer. It is the perfect shade for me. It's not too warm. It's not like super shimmery either because I don't like shimmery bronzers on me. I think it just looks kind of weird. It's not like super shimmery. It does have a little bit of glow in it, but it just looks healthy on the skin. So I think this kind of provides a nice kiss of like healthiness that a matte bronzer wouldn't necessarily do. I also really do enjoy the blushes in here, so that's kind of an add-on. I just really enjoy the Hourglass face product formula, so I love this entire palette. The powders are beautiful, and the blushes and bronzers are gorgeous as well. I think this is overall an amazing formula, so Hourglass is my favorite for the bronzers. I really do like the blushes too. I do, however, want to mention a Ride or Die single blush that I really enjoy, and this is probably the cheapest product I'm going to mention in this video. It is the Essence Satin Touch Blush. So most of my Ride or Die favorites are just high-end. That's kind of just what I reach for first, so I apologize for that because there's not going to be a ton of super affordable products in this video. This is definitely the cheapest one in the video. I do have a lot of favorites from the drugstore, so you can pretty much watch any of my other videos to find those favorites, but most of the products I'm going to mention in this video are high-end, but this one is not. This is the Essence Satin Touch Blush. This is only $3, and it's probably my favorite blush in my entire collection. It's such a beautiful, like, soft, rosy pink. It just works with every single makeup look. It can look nice with, like, peachier tones or warm tones. It can look nice with cool tones. It's just the perfect neutral blush. This one is 20 Satin Love. I believe they have a bunch of different shades. It's available at Ulta for $3, and it's just such a beautiful, soft formula. Again, it's, like, matte, but it doesn't have, like, flatness to it, so it kind of looks luminous and dewy on the skin and just looks healthy on your cheeks. So I really enjoy this one. It's so beautiful, and for $3, you can't beat it. I just realized I forgot to mention my favorite powder, which is what I would do after I contour right underneath my bronzer. So my favorite powder in my collection is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I think this was actually recommended to me in the comments section of my Ride or Die tag video last time, so I did try this one out. It's my favorite in the whole wide world. This is pretty expensive. It's a $38 powder, so that's crazy, but you are getting a full ounce of product in here, and I use such a small amount every day. I actually use it with a powder puff. That's a great way to kind of conserve product, but use a proper amount, so you're not over powdering your face. You're gonna get a lot more longevity out of this product, and it just looks beautiful on the skin. I love this product. It's actually very mattifying on the skin, so if you do have oily skin, I think this will be your favorite. And it just locks my makeup in, keeps everything staying on the face, and it smooths out the pores as well, so your skin looks nice and velvety, but it doesn't look dry and flat, which I find is a big problem I have with other powders. So I really enjoy this powder. It's definitely worth the $38 price tag. I know that's crazy for just a loose powder, but it's really good. So this one I will definitely repurchase once it's gone, but I have a ton of product in here and I've been using this since November, so I think I will have probably at least a year out of this product before I have to buy another one, so that's amazing. Next up would be brows. So last time I think I mentioned the ANASTASIA Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, but now I am into the DIPBROW. I still like ride or die with Anastasia's brow products. She just makes the best things in the world for brows, but I've actually gotten to using the DIPBROW pomade and just brow pomades in general because I don't know about you guys, but I go through brow pencils really quickly if that's the only thing I'm using on my brows, because I like twist it up at least like 2 times when I'm using the product. And if I did that every single day, I'd be done with a brow pencil in like 2 months. So that's kind of wasteful because I don't want to be spending like $21 every time I need a new brow wiz. So I switched to the brow pomade. This is the DIPBROW. It is actually $18, so it's a little bit cheaper than the brow wiz, and you're getting a lot more product in here, so you're gonna get a lot more use. I'm in the shade Ash Brown. It's a really good like kind of cool tone brown for my brows. I don't like having a warm toned brow at all. And this is super pigmented, so it is kind of a product that has a learning curve. You cannot go in with like a ton of product because it's just gonna look like block brows instantly. You need to kind of go in with a light hand, and I think that's really good because you are conserving product, so you're gonna go through this extremely slowly. I think I will probably have like 1.5 years out of this product, and that is so money saving in comparison to the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I do have this one in the video because I wanted to mention the spoolie. It is hands down the my earring just fell out. Anyways, the spoolie is hands down the best spoolie in my entire collection. This has really nice soft bristles, so it's not going to feel super scratchy in the brows, which I find is a big problem with the ColourPop spoolie. This one just blends the product so seamlessly through the brows. It's just my favorite spoolie in my collection. So I do keep the brow wiz on hand just in case I want to do some nice precise hair strokes, but most of the time I just use the DIPBROW because it's cheaper, it's more effective, and it's so easy to use for me. So I really enjoy the DIPBROW pomade. It's my new ride or die in my collection. Next up is eyelid primer. This is kind of a step that is overlooked by a lot of people here on YouTube, but I feel it's a very important step to getting your eyeshadow to look great all day long. A lot of people ask me how I create my very intense like pigmented eye looks, and I think the eye primer is a great start to that. Definitely one of the most key products in my entire eyeshadow routine. So my favorite eye primer is actually the Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Fix. They have a bunch of different shades, but Fix in particular is my favorite because not only is it like a perfect shade for me, but it's also going to benefit women. They donate 100% of the proceeds to the Ultraviolet Initiative, which is to help women in need. Most of them are actually survivors of sexual assault. So it's a great product, but it also helps out a great cause. I really love this primer. This is $21, but I go through this so slowly that I'm probably not going to need to repurchase this one for at least like 6 more months. Nice like beige matte shade. It dries down to a pretty matte finish, so it's gonna keep like oily eyelids in check. This is the best primer, hands down. It's the only one that doesn't crease on me. Keeps eyeshadows very pigmented and looking amazing throughout the day. So primer does make a huge difference in your eyeshadow application. I definitely recommend trying it out if you don't and you struggle with getting full pigmentation and full lasting power out of your eyeshadows. Overall, this is hands down the best. Definitely support this one. It's a great cause and a great product. All right, so next is eyeshadow. And this is kind of a very difficult category for me because, as you know, I am a palette junkie. I have like so many palettes in my collection and most of them I really enjoy, so it's very hard for me to narrow down to my favorite formula. And I wasn't really sure how to approach this category because I could go with favorite formula. That would hands down be the Pat McGrath Mothership formula. I love my Mothership palette, but I didn't want to mention that because my favorite eyeshadow palette has to be something I use on the daily basis. And Pat McGrath, I love the formula, but it doesn't have all the colors I need for a like everyday look or whatever I want to create. So when I was trying to pick out my favorite ride or die palettes, I honestly was so torn. I could not just pick one, so I didn't. I picked two. The first one I have to mention is actually the one I mentioned in my last ride or die tag. This is the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. This is my palette. I got this last July. I used this basically exclusively the entire like summer and I loved this so much. Every single color I could ever need to create like pretty much any look I would want is in here. I reach for this like at least 3 times a week, and that's kind of a lot for me because I do have so many palettes in my collection. I adore this one. Pretty much all the colors in here perform amazingly. I have never had any problems with getting pigmentation out of these. The mattes is one of my favorite formulas in the whole wide world. They're very blendable and extremely pigmented. I've done a ton of looks with this one. I will flash a couple pictures, of course, for you guys, but this is probably one of the most versatile palettes in my collection. I take this traveling with me. It's never not by my side. So I love this one. Every single color performs amazingly, and it's $38 for 35 shades. So if you break it down, you're getting a lot of product in here for not a lot of money, so I really like this one. This could be the only ride or die palette that I do mention, but I have to mention my other favorite. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance, and I think I mentioned this one in my last video that I was like trying not to pick this one, but I did go with the Morphe Jaclyn Hill. But I have to mention this one because I'm wearing it on my eyes today. This is just such a classic and probably one of the best formulas in the whole wide world. Mattes in here are so low maintenance. I reach for this when I don't want to put a lot of effort into my eye look because they just blend themselves. They're also very pigmented, but they layer so easily, so it can be kind of hard to have a nice pigmented shadow that layers and plays well with other shadows, especially from the same palette. I have a lot of palettes in my collection where I can only use like 2 or 3 matte shades on top of each other, tops, before it starts to look muddy and just doesn't blend well together. This, I never have a problem with that, and same with the Morphe palette. I think these are just one of the best formulas in general. This is one of the best formulas for creating really nice intricate eye looks. They're very pigmented, they blend effortlessly, and they're just so well performing. The shimmers are also very nice in here. I typically prefer very foiled shimmery shadows. When I put a shimmer on my lid, I want it to show. These ones are actually very soft, and I think that kind of goes in accordance with the aesthetic of this palette. They weren't really going for super foiled shimmery shadows, and Anastasia creates those amazingly. I've tried their singles, I've tried their other palettes. They can do that really, really well, but for this palette, they went for softer shimmers, and I can really appreciate that. So overall, I love this palette. I reach for it so often. I've never created a bad look with this one. I think every single time I've used this palette, I've liked how it turned out. You have your warm tone neutrals in here, you have some like pinks in here, you also have some reds, oranges. You can do so many looks with this one, and it's such a versatile palette for only 14 colors. So this one is a classic in my collection. Just the specific one in general is so special to me because my grandma did buy this for me. So I love this one. I will definitely be keeping the packaging once I actually finish up the palette. I will repurchase a new one, but I will keep the original one that I have forever because it is so special to me. So I really enjoyed this palette, and it's definitely my ride or die alongside the Jaclyn Hill. Next up is eyeliner, and I don't actually use eyeliner every single day. I know some people do winged liner every single day of their life. I personally don't because I spend a lot of time on my eyeshadow, and if I create a really intricate look, I rarely ever do liner after that because I'm not the best at liner. I don't want to mess up a look that I spent like 45 minutes on just with like a failed winged liner. So I rarely ever do wings or any eyeliner in general, but when I do, my favorite has to be the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. This is a very, very nice fine brush tip. It's so precise. So this is great if you're not very like good or steady-handed with a like kind of pencil. It's so thin. So this is the only thing that I can actually do super nice perfect wing liner with. With other things, I always inevitably mess up. So even with this one, I do sometimes have a blunder and I kind of mess up my eye look and it sucks. but I'd say 8 out of 10 times I get perfect wings with this liner. It's so good. It's very matte, it dries down very black. It's just everything I could ask for, and it's $6. So I think eyeliner is one of those things that you don't necessarily have to spend a ton of money on. Some people really swear by like the Kat Von D tattoo liner. I honestly don't see the difference because you honestly don't need to spend $20. I think eyeliner is a pretty insignificant category that you can easily get at the drugstore for better quality and better prices. So after liner, I like to curl my eyelashes, and I have to mention an eyelash curler, which is another category that's kind of overlooked by a lot of people here on YouTube. But my favorite eyelash curler is the UEMURA one. I honestly didn't know what I was missing before I tried this because I had this like old e.l.f. eyelash curler and I thought it was like fine. I didn't think there was any difference. This one is so good because it like kind of curls in a certain way that's perfect for my eye shape. It grips every single lash, including the very, very sparse inner corner ones, and just curls everything. So eyelash curling is a step that I cannot skip. It's $20, so it's kind of pricey for a little gadget like this one, but I think it's still definitely worth it. One of those splurge products that I think is a staple in my collection. Next would have to be mascara, and I honestly thought I was going to mention the Essence Lash Princess, which I really do enjoy, but when I was just looking at all my mascaras and trying to pick one for this video, I thought, no, I actually use this one way more often. I think I actually mentioned this one in the last Ride or Die tag because I really did enjoy that one back then. This is the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara, and this is the best in my opinion. I actually have the $10 travel size one. I generally prefer getting travel size mascaras because mascara expires very quickly, so I have like a bunch of different ones in my collection. I'm never going to be able to use them all within like the expiration date. Normally I don't really pay attention to product expiration dates for eyeshadows since they are a powder product, and like other powder products you don't really need to pay attention to that because it's just powder. It's not going to be expiring unless you're keeping it in like direct sunlight. With cream products you do need to be a little bit more careful. The way I go with those is just like I smell them every now and then, and if they smell bad or they're performing badly or they're breaking me out, I get rid of them. Mascara though, I do really stay strict with those because you're putting it on your eyes and you don't want to put anything expired in your eyeballs. So I think it's great to get travel size bottles because it just allows you to use it up more quickly and you're not going to be risking a lot by putting it on your eyes. So the Perversion Mascara has a really nice thick fluffy wand, and I personally prefer like spoolie type wands like this one. I know some people prefer like plastic type wands. This is just my favorite type of like wand personally for my lashes. This has such amazing volume, it never looks clumpy, and it's so good for lengthening. It just looks so lush on the eyelashes. So I love this one, and for a sample size it's only $10, so I love this one, definitely recommend. So next up is lashes, but first I wanted to mention my favorite lash glue. I know this is also another category that people kind of overlook. My favorite lash adhesive is the House of Lashes eyelash adhesive, and I have it in this little box here because this is a new bottle just ready to be opened. I haven't opened this one yet. I like the clear one. They also have a black one. Depending on what you prefer, you can get this one, but this is heavy duty. It's gonna keep your eyelashes on all day long. I wore this to Disneyland sitting in the front of a roller coaster with like wind blowing in my face, and my eyelashes did not budge, so I think that's indicative of how good this one is. It's very heavy duty though, so if you don't like super sticky, super long wearing eyelashes, I think this is maybe not for you, but that's what I prefer, so I really enjoy this one. It is $9. You can get it at Sephora, and it's just the best. So for lashes, I've been mentioning these a lot in my videos lately. I really do enjoy the Morphe lashes. I have to pick a favorite pair though, and my favorite pair that Morphe offers are the ones called Sophisticated. They're right up here. I will show you guys like a close-up of them. These are stunning. I wear them very often in my Instagram looks. I think they're just so beautiful. They're very lush, they're very voluminous, and they are 3D, so they kind of give you that like tapered hair effect that looks very natural but still extremely fluffy. So these are my favorite for like special events, for dramatic makeup, for natural makeup, whatever. They're just beautiful. So favorite pair of lashes has to be these ones. I think last time I mentioned the Cake Face Beauty Kim Tai Lionhearted lashes. I still love those, don't get me wrong. I just prefer these ones now because they are $8 cheaper and they're a little bit easier to get their hands on. So these are my new favorite lashes. Now would be around the time that I apply my highlighter, and I know that most people do highlighter with the rest of their cheek products. I actually like doing it kind of near the end of my routine. So favorite highlighter, I've also been talking about this kind of nonstop on my channel lately. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills AMREZY highlighter. I have been using this nonstop. This has quickly skyrocketed its way to my favorite in my collection. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life, honestly. It's a very nice light gold color, but it doesn't have a super pigmented base. It's just a beautiful sheen. So this is so blinding, but it doesn't look glittery on the skin. It's not going to emphasize skin texture, which I do have a bit of on my cheeks. And it's just overall the best highlighter I've ever tried. So Anastasia always kills it with their formulas. I'm not surprised that this is amazing, but I was blown away when I tried this one. I did not think it was going to outdo my Anastasia glow kits, but it did. So this is my favorite. They also killed it with the packaging. It's so stunning to display on your vanity. So just overall, amazing product. $28, and for a single highlight, that is kind of a lot, but you are getting a ton of product, and I'm definitely going to be buying more of these. Next is lipstick. So I'm just going to go through different colors. I wanted to divide this up into favorite pink, favorite red, favorite nude, favorite gloss, and then favorite colorful lipsticks. Favorite red, hands down, is the Fenty Beauty Stunna Lip Paint. This I've been loving so much. It's definitely my favorite like matte liquid lipstick formula, which I'm not a huge fan of matte liquid lipsticks normally, but this one is so comfortable. I'm actually very surprised with how good this feels on my lips. It's a nice thin formula, extremely pigmented, and it's just such a beautiful color. I think this is definitely a universal red. It's gonna look good on every single skin tone, and it's just the best. So for $24, it's kind of pricey for one lipstick. However, you're getting a ton of product. It's also a really nice packaging. It kind of reminds me of the Christian Louboutin lipsticks. There is a reason that this is the #1 best-selling lipstick in Sephora. It's just because it's so good. So I can't wait for Rihanna to come out with more colors, but until then, this is my favorite red lipstick. My favorite pink is the Pat McGrath lipstick in the shade Omi. This is the Matte Trance formula, so I love this color. It's a nice neutral kind of nudie pink, so this could kind of qualify as a nude lipstick, but for me, it kind of pulls more pink on my lips, and normally I'm actually not a huge fan of pink lipsticks on me. When I do a pink, it's kind of darker, a bit more dusty, like kind of a dusty rose brownish pinkish color, if that makes sense. But this is a nice kind of light mauve pink. It's so versatile and so beautiful on the lips. I love this one. The formula is also amazing. I think Pat McGrath's lipstick formula is one of my favorites in my collection, and I love this one. So I will insert a picture of me wearing this one. As with all the other lip colors, I think it's just gorgeous. And for $38, it's pricey, it's stupidly expensive, but it's worth it. My favorite nude in my collection is actually the I Love Sadahi X Colourpop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade 951. This is from their original collection. I don't know if this is limited edition or not, so I will put that down below, but I love this one so much. It's the perfect like neutral nude for me. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, it's not too pink, it's not too brown, it's just everything in the middle, and it's beautiful. So I reach for this very often. Whenever I have a nude lip, it's probably this on my Instagram, so I love this color. I'm definitely going to repurchase it, and it's only $6.50, so great deal, amazing formula, very like non-drying and comfortable on the lips, and very pigmented as well. Now for my favorite colorful lipstick, I'm kind of cheating because it's a lipstick palette and you have so many colors in here, but it has to be the Anastasia Beverly Hills lipstick palette. I actually reach for this very often, and I didn't think I was going to when I was first picking this up because it's not necessarily the most like normal thing here on YouTube. Most people go for like single lip color. Lip palettes like this are kind of only geared towards like professional working makeup artists, but even though I'm not a professional makeup artist, I still love this one because it has literally every single shade I could ever want. You can also mix the colors in here to create your own custom colors. It's so versatile. It's an amazing formula as well. So I definitely don't think this is only geared towards professional makeup artists. I think it's consumer friendly as well. It's $48, but it's worth the investment because you're getting like so many lipstick shades in here. So definitely recommend this one. And don't be scared of it. I think if you are a consumer like me, I think you'll still enjoy this one because I really love it. My favorite gloss is the KKW Beauty Ultralight Beam Gloss in Rose Gold. I've mentioned this very often on my channel. I really love the formula of this. It is kind of shimmery. They do have some nice shimmer particles in here, but it's not like glittery or overwhelmingly glittery, and it's such a beautiful formula. Very soft, kind of feels juicy and like light on the lips, but it's not sticky at all. And I've actually been really embracing glosses lately, so I love this one. I don't think I would have enjoyed this one like a year ago because I wasn't so into glosses, but now I've really just been loving this trend, and I hope it doesn't go away anytime soon. My favorite setting spray, I don't really use setting spray every single day. Most of the time I just forget, and honestly it doesn't make that big of a difference. But my favorite setting spray has to be Urban Decay's All Nighter. It's actually by Skindinavia, so if you've tried their mists before, same formula, different brand and different packaging, but it's the same type of thing. So I really like this one. I just like this one a lot. It's very long wearing. It keeps everything locked in place all day long. It has that nice quality of melting down the powders on your skin, so everything looks like your face and not like powdery or makeup-y. It's just really, really good. So I like this one a lot. Kind of pricey in terms of setting sprays, but it's just the best one. I've tried so many drugstore ones that I've been unsatisfied with and just haven't really made a difference. This one does actually make a difference on my skin. kind of an unorthodox category, but perfume is actually a very important part of like my makeup look and my beauty look. I just like having a nice scent to go along with the makeup look. So my favorite perfume hands down is the KKW Beauty Gardenia perfume. This is one of their crystal perfumes, and I think she does really amazing jobs with her fragrances. This one, I think this is the smaller bottle. I think I'm gonna purchase the bigger bottle when I finish up, because this is the only perfume I can wear that is very like strong scented, but it doesn't give me a headache. It stays on all day long, and it's the best scent ever. I love gardenias. My mom always liked gardenias when I was growing up, so I always kind of associated that scent with her. But I love this perfume. It's my favorite one in my collection, and I think Kim does an amazing job with the fragrances. Okay, so that's the end of this video. I've been talking for like an hour, and it's been a very, very long one, so I'm glad this is over, but I hope you guys enjoyed my ride or die tag. I am planning on doing a video with my ride or die skincare products, so if you're wanting to see my skincare routine, please let me know in the comments, because I am planning on doing that. Let me know what else you want to see. If you want to see like my favorite brushes, I don't know if anyone would be interested in that, but until then, this is my ride or die tag. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed down below, and also make sure you're following me on Instagram so you can see artsy looks like this one. And yeah, if you made it to the very end of this video, I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Bye.